You're probably wondering, is it too late to sell on Amazon in 2025? And these are the 5 reasons most people think it's too late to sell on Amazon. Oversaturated, Temu, startup cost, and 2 more I'm going to tell about later in this video. So if you're looking to make money online by selling on Amazon, it's important for you to know exactly how worried you should be about these 5 problems. That's why in this video, I'm going to share with you how concerned you should be on each of these on a scale of 1 to 10. And by the end of this video, I'll reveal whether or not it's best for you to be selling on Amazon in 2025. And the answer might surprise you. Now, I'm going to share the rankings in just a minute, but there is a big reason why it might not be too late to sell on Amazon, and that's this chart right here. This chart made me realize that right now is the perfect time to start selling on Amazon. But there are right ways to sell on Amazon and wrong ways to sell on Amazon. And Amazon.com was first started in July 1994 for the first 3 years. And for the first 3 years, they only sold books on their website, and they didn't allow anyone else to sell on their website. But then they started to expand, and they started to sell CDs, toys, and electronics. And in 2000, something huge happened. Amazon.com, the #1 e-commerce website in the world, started allowing e-commerce sellers, that's people like you and me, to start selling our products on their website. And at this point, they only had around 20 million customers coming to their website. But since there was no one else selling products on the website, all you had to do was start an Amazon seller account, put up any junk product, and you would make a ton of money. And so, yes, selling on Amazon has gotten harder. But nowadays, instead of there being only 20 million customers, there are over 300 million customers with over 200 million paying Prime customers. Even though there are 9 million Amazon sellers, there are only about 2 million that are active Amazon sellers. And of those 2 million active Amazon sellers, only 1 million of them are in the United States. And one of the most important reasons why now is the perfect time to sell on Amazon is because every single year, Amazon's revenue is growing. In 2010, Amazon only did about $34 billion in sales. Compare that to last year when they did over $700 billion in sales. And this year, where they're projected to do over $800 billion in sales. And every single year, their sales are going to be growing. On top of that, e-commerce, which is people buying things online, is growing every single year. In 2022, e-commerce sales made up about 16% of all retail sales. Last year, it was over 17%. In this year, it's expected to be almost 20%, and it's going to continue to grow every single year. So right now is the perfect time to start selling products online. But I don't want you to take my word for it. Let's go over the most common concerns that people have with starting Amazon right now in 2025, and I'm going to rate them for you out of 10. How worried you should be, as well as show you how you can avoid some of the common traps that people fall into when selling on Amazon. Now we'll dive into that in just a moment, but first, if you're new to the channel, my name's Connor and I've been selling on Amazon for over 5 years. As part of the team here with Travis, I've helped do over $1 million in e-commerce sales in the last year, and we've also helped over 1,000 everyday people make over $100,000 a year in profit from selling on Amazon. So make sure to smash that like button because I'm making this video to show you the real truth about Amazon FBA. And I've personally tried a lot of different ways to make money online, and Amazon FBA is by far the easiest way I've found to create a legitimate passive income business. And that's because Amazon FBA stands for Fulfilled by Amazon, and it's a way for you to sell products on Amazon's website. You send in the inventory you want to sell to Amazon's warehouse, and whenever a customer on Amazon's website searches for your product, it will appear at the top of the search results. They'll click on it, buy it, and you'll make money from that sale. It's called Fulfilled by Amazon because Amazon picks, packs, and ships your products for you. This is a great business model, but most people do it wrong. This is a chart of e-commerce growth in the United States, and you can see that people are buying things online more and more every year. Since people are buying more online, it should become even easier to sell online. However, most people are using techniques that worked 5 to 7 years ago. And there are 4 main ways to make money selling your product with Amazon FBA, but some are better than others. The first one is retail arbitrage, where you find products that are deeply discounted, buy them, and then flip them on Amazon at a higher price. If you're tight on cash, this is a good way to make some side income. For example, this robot vacuum is selling on Walmart.com for $113. but then on Amazon, it's selling for $250. So you can buy this vacuum on Walmart and resell it on Amazon to make some profit. And the reason this works is because people will just go on Amazon to buy products and won't look anywhere. I don't know about you, but I never check Walmart.com before buying something on Amazon. So you can take advantage of this to resell discounted products on Amazon. However, the downside of this business model and why I don't recommend it is that you're not really building a business, nor will you ever be able to have passive income. Every time you want to make money, you have to hunt for deals and then do the work of listing these items on Amazon. If you're looking to make passive income selling on Amazon in 2025, this is not the best way to do it. Instead, a lot of people use a wholesale technique. This is where you buy a product like these magnetic blocks for $17.60 using a wholesale discount and then sell the same product on Amazon.com for almost $40. You buy the product low, sell at a higher price, and keep the profit. The good thing about this is that you can keep selling the same product repeatedly because it's not just a flash sale. The problem, however, is that other Amazon sellers can find this product and sell the same product as you, making this method extremely saturated, especially today. So wholesale is not the way for you to sell on Amazon in 2025. The third common option is called private labeling. For example, these refrigerator filters might not be the most exciting product to sell, but they're making over $5,578,864 in sales every single month. You can find out how much any product on Amazon is selling by going to the product listing page, scrolling down to the best seller's rank number, and then copying it into the free Jungle Scout sales estimator tool, and then selecting the marketplace and the category. The filter is under Tools and Home Improvement, and then when you hit enter, you can see that this product sells over 108,771 units per month. By multiplying that by the product cost, we can see that this product makes over $5,500,000 every single month. Even though this product sells for $51 on Amazon, you can go to Alibaba to buy products overseas for cheap. We can see that this exact product is being sold for $7.77. You can buy it in bulk, slap your own private label brand on it, sell it on Amazon for over $50 and keep all of the profit. And a lot of sellers try this. In fact, 59% of all Amazon sellers use the private label method, which used to work well. You can still get lucky and sometimes find a product where private labeling works, but if there's nothing unique about your product, there's nothing stopping someone from copying it, branding it themselves, and undercutting you on price. Another thing to keep in mind is even when you find a winning product, a Chinese manufacturer might copy your product and start selling it on Amazon. Amazon itself might copy your product and sell it as an Amazon Basics item. I had a friend who was selling a backpack on Amazon, and Amazon copied his product, put their Amazon Basics label on it, and started selling it. The Amazon Basics version outranked his product, causing his sales to plummet. The lesson here is, in 2025, it is too late to private label basic products. If Amazon Basics can create a version of your product, it's probably too basic. You want something more branded, niche, and unique. That's what I, my students, and most of my friends do, and none of us, except that one friend, have had a problem. But it is something you should be aware of. Now, there is an easy solution to this that I'll reveal in 1 second. But if you're looking for some personal guidance on how you can sell on Amazon, I'm opening up 50 spots for people to beta test Travis and I's private Amazon FBA training, the Passion Product Formula. The techniques we've taught in this program have helped over 1,000 everyday people build a $100,000 a year passive income Amazon business, so I'm so confident that you can do the same. If you're interested in the program, I'll have a link to it right here and in the description. Now let's go over the first big reason as to why you should or shouldn't start selling on Amazon. And number one is oversaturation. There are close to 10 million Amazon sellers and 3,700 new sellers join every single day. And everywhere you look on social media, it seems like everyone and their mom is trying to make money on Amazon. But funny enough, it's not bad if you sell in the right way. Even though that seems like a huge amount of competition, there's still a chance for you to succeed on Amazon, but only if you choose to sell using the right method. First, let's go over if you're doing retail arbitrage. I would rate oversaturation to be a 4 out of 10. Yes, it's easy for anyone to find a product at a discount and sell it on Amazon, but the reality is not everyone will be finding the same discounts as you because you can go to those local stores to find these. So unless you live in an area where the entire neighborhood is doing Amazon FBA, it's fairly unlikely that you'll need to worry about competition. But if you're looking at doing wholesaling, oversaturation is at a 10 out of 10. If your product is not only generic like everyone else's, but also has no brand affiliated to it, then it's so easy for anyone else to copy your product and do the same. So oversaturation is a big problem when looking at getting into wholesaling. Then, with private labeling, oversaturation is a 9 out of 10. It's not as bad as wholesaling products, but it's still very easy for someone to copy your product and slap your own brand on it. And this can take customers away from your listing and crush any profit that you could be making. Now, despite that, I don't really think that Amazon is oversaturated. The problem is that it's not that Amazon's oversaturated, it's that certain product categories are oversaturated and everyone's trying to sell the same thing. And if everyone is zigging, you need to zag. And the way to do that is to find a unique product, an interesting product that no one else is selling. Ideally, you want to create what I call a passion product. This is a product that's better than the competition. It's not just the same product as everyone else, and it has your own brand on it. This is where you make a product that's better than everyone else. Now, you might be wondering, how do you find these products? And there's a tool called Helium-10, and you need to understand that the key to success on Amazon is to understand that Amazon.com is just a search engine, that people go to it and type in what they want to buy. If you can find out what people are typing into the search bar in Amazon, you can find out what they want to buy. And if you know what they want to buy, then you can sell them that exact same product. And that's what this tool Helium-10 does. I do have the hookup for Helium-10. There's a link down below with a discount code. You can also use that link to sign up for the free version of Helium-10. And let me show you how to use Helium-10 to find a profitable product to sell on Amazon. It's the exact way that AJ found his product. He was an out-of-work bartender. He lost his job during the pandemic. He didn't know how he was going to pay the rent, so he ended up joining my Amazon FBA training, and I helped him find a product to sell on Amazon that he was actually passionate about. He knew that people were interested in learning how to make cocktails, and we went to the Helium-10 tool and we typed in cocktails, and it gave us a bunch of ideas for products related to cocktails. And one of these ideas that it came up with was cocktail flashcards, and we saw that thousands of people a month were searching for things like cocktail recipe cards, bartender flashcards, and other related phrases. So we took that idea that we found using Helium-10 and we turned it into a real product. And the key here was that there were no other products like it on the market. There were a lot of other cocktail recipe books, but people were specifically searching for cocktail recipe flashcards. So we created the product for them and sold it on Amazon. And in his first year, AJ ended up making over $500,000 in sales. And since then, I've repeated this process over and over again. So how worried should you actually be that Amazon is oversaturated overall? And I would say this is about a 4 out of 10. If you follow all the advice that I give you on this YouTube channel and in my Amazon FBA program, you don't really need to be worried about people copying you because your product and brand are going to be better than theirs. Plus, because you are the first to market, it doesn't really matter if competitors come in. For instance, with Travis's first real Amazon FBA passion product, in his first year, he did over $300,000 in sales and over $120,000 in profit. The next year, he had a bunch of competitors come in, but it actually increased his sales. That next year, he did over $400,000 in sales and over $150,000 in profit. And that's because when you're the first to market, when competitors come in, they don't steal your market share. They actually grow the entire pie. His product was the first keto nut butter on Amazon. And when other people started marketing their own keto nut butter on Amazon, it actually made it so that there were more customers and everyone ended up winning. Now, the most recent fear that people have when selling on Amazon is Temu. In 2022, 2023, and 2024, this was actually a 10 out of 10, but recently 3 big changes went down between Temu and China that changed the playing field here. The first big change says that any products that are subject to tariffs will no longer qualify for the de minimis exemption. So before, Temu could bypass these expensive tariffs by keeping the value of their shipments under $800. But now, they'll have to pay customs, fees, tariffs for every shipment and more. The second huge change coming to the new de minimis rules are out to crush companies like Temu and Shein. The new rules impose stricter information collection for each low-value shipment that claims the de minimis exemption. Sellers will now need to provide the 10-digit tariff classification number, so U.S. Customs will be able to check out everything coming into the country. There's no way for these Temu sellers to sneak products in for free anymore. Sellers will also have to tell Customs who the buyer is to even try to claim the de minimis exemption, which makes it even tougher for them to avoid taking responsibility for bringing poor quality products into the United States. And there's one major thing that might tank Temu once and for all. If you're importing goods for personal use, like Temu customers do, and the products you're bringing in are above a certain value, you must provide either your employer identification number, which is an EIN, or a social security number. That means with these new rules, Temu customers might now have to provide their actual social security numbers to make a purchase, to avoid paying import taxes. But you don't have to do that when selling on Amazon. And with people being more and more careful about where they share their sensitive and private information, people are going to be leaving Temu fast. So shouldn't you be worried about Temu when selling on Amazon? Yes. But that's only if you're doing wholesaling and private label. Because sure, the prices on Temu aren't as low as they used to be, but the reality is they're still lower than what you'll find on Amazon, because the products being sold here are coming directly from the manufacturer. So no matter how hard you try, Temu will always have cheaper prices. So I would rate this at an 8 out of 10. Now for retail arbitrage, Temu is a 2 out of 10 risk. This is pretty much no effect on this because all the products you're finding are from local stores. There's no involvement from online retailers like Temu. And if you're starting a passion product, I would go as far as rating this a 1 out of 10. Because when you create something unique, it's very difficult for someone to copy you. So Temu, Shein, or any cheap retail seller won't be able to compete with you. Not to mention, you and I both know that the products on Temu are the lowest quality possible. So if your passion product is also something that's high quality, if you're selling a premium product, it will make it even more unlikely for Temu to compete against you. The next big reason as to why almost everyone thinks it's too late to sell on Amazon in 2025 is startup capital. The question I get all the time is, how much do you actually need to start selling on Amazon? Well, according to Amazon themselves, around 11% of people were able to start on Amazon for less than $500. 13% of people were able to start their Amazon business with between $500 to $1,000. 15% were able to start it with between $1,000 to $2,500. 15% with between $2,500 to $5,000. 19% between $5,000 to $10,000, and around 22% of Amazon sellers started their business with more than $10,000. And you know what? Yes, this is 100% true. You will need at least $1,000 in startup capital. But that's only if you don't use this trick that my student AJ used to launch his multi-six-figure Amazon store with nothing, which I'll reveal in just a minute. Okay, first, wholesale. If you're wholesaling on Amazon FBA, startup capital is going to be a 7 out of 10 risk. In order to get your store up and running, you're going to have to pay thousands of dollars out of pocket for inventory, PPC, and fulfillment fees before you even get the chance to make money back. Now the thing is, you can get a small amount of inventory in your first product run to see whether or not the product is worth selling. So there are a few strategies on how to get around paying a lot of money up front. Now with private label, I would also rate this an 8 out of 10. You're going to spend just as much money as you do with wholesaling and a little bit more so that you can get your branding on the product. But like I said with wholesaling, you can do a small production run to avoid having to spend a lot of money up front. This way you can test out whether the product you're selling will make you money or not. Now, with retail arbitrage, I would rate the issue of capital a 6 out of 10. If you want to make serious money, you're going to have to buy a lot of inventory from your local stores, because the profit margins on each product you sell will only be around $3 to $15 max. So you'll need the capital to buy a lot. Then lastly, when it comes to launching a passion product, capital is going to be a 10 out of 10 problem. I've helped thousands of everyday people start selling their own passion product on Amazon, and normally they spend between $1,000 to $5,000 to get it started. So capital is needed. However, I do have a trick on how to launch your passion product for $0, like my student AJ did right here with his cocktail card product. And it's by creating a Kickstarter where people can donate to help fund your product ideas. Then using that money that you get from there, you use it to pay for inventory, marketing, and production costs to launch your product idea. Also, this is a good way to test whether your product idea will sell or not early on before you commit to it. So when you follow my Kickstarter plan, starting your passion product is really only a 2 out of 10 risk when it comes to your capital. Now, I do go more in depth on how to properly launch to Kickstarter inside our Amazon FBA training, the Passion Product Formula. So I'll have a link for that right there in the description. Also, just an FYI, registration for it is closing closing in 2 days. Now, the fourth reason why many think it's too late to sell on Amazon is the economy. You hear it every single day. We're going into a recession. The economy is about to collapse. The dollar is going to be worthless any second. But I know a lot of people are concerned that there's going to be a recession and that inflation is getting out of control. And it's true. The stock market was crashing. Crypto was crashing. But a lot of those things are starting to rebound though. According to experts, we're still not out of the woods yet, but one thing you should understand is that 50% of Fortune 500 companies, these are the 500 most successful companies in the world, 50% of them were started during a recession. So just because there's a recession doesn't mean that you can't start a successful business. In fact, when we look at how the stock market performs compared to how Amazon sales have been, it doesn't matter whether it's good times or bad times, Amazon sales have been going up every single year. And that's because even if people are buying things less every year, they're buying more and more things online. So it ends up balancing out and making it so that right now is the perfect time to start selling your products online. Now, inflation is a whole nother thing. Shipping costs have been going up like crazy. They're up 23%. On top of that, a lot of raw materials and goods have been going up in price as well. And this is one of the best things about being a business owner, because if you have a salary job and prices go up, tough luck. You're probably not going to get a raise. But if you're a business owner and prices are going up, guess what? You also get to raise your prices, which means that your profit margins are going to be about the same. And this is why I always tell people that it's better to be a business owner than work for a business, and why I would rate this as a 5 out of 10 as far as the concerns here. Because there are certain categories that during a recession will go down in sales, but there are certain products that you can sell that even during a recession, people are going to want to buy. Things like groceries or items for their babies or pets. And during a recession, people still want pleasure, so they'll buy things like candy. And if you really think that there's going to be a recession, create products that will thrive during a recession. The truth about this is none of us actually know every single year. People are going to say the economy is going to collapse and that it continues to go up. So don't focus on the worst case scenario. That's what most people do. And this causes them to get trapped in analysis paralysis, and they never actually start their online business because they're too afraid that it might fail. Then the last reason why people think it's too late to sell on Amazon is Amazon fees. And here's the reality. It's true. I genuinely believe that Amazon fees will eliminate most Amazon FBA sellers, except one that I'll share with you in a second. Just take a look at this chart right here. Over the past 2 years, Amazon fees have gone up by 30%. So that really means that you have 30% less profit from Amazon fees alone, not to mention all the other expenses you're paying for. So overall, this is a big problem. So for wholesalers, I would rate this as a 10 out of 10 risk as to why you shouldn't be selling on Amazon. The profit margins for finding products from China are already low, but with Amazon fees getting higher and higher, it's just going to get harder for you to make a profit. Same goes for private labeling. I would rate this as a 9 out of 10 risk for the same reasons as wholesaling. The only thing as to why private labeling is a little better is because you can slightly increase the cost of your product because you have an actual brand associated with it. Now with retail arbitrage, this is a 7 out of 10 risk. When it comes to retail arbitrage, the determining point to whether or not you make money comes down to the difference between how much you bought the product for on Walmart.com and how much you can sell it on Amazon.com. But if you can't make as much money when selling your product on Amazon's website, then this is going to hurt your chances of making money with retail arbitrage. Then lastly, with starting a passion product on Amazon, this is a 3 out of 10 risk. Sure, Amazon fees are going to hurt your profit margins, but guess what? If you're not making as much money due to the fees, then you just increase the price of your product. You see, this is one of the beauties of selling your passion product on Amazon. When you make something unique that has no competitors, you have the ability to increase your prices. Whereas if you're selling using wholesale, private labeling, or retail arbitrage, you don't have this option because you have thousands of competitors competing with you on price. So if you increase your prices, no one would ever buy from you because there are cheaper options. So now comes the big question. Is it too late to sell on Amazon? And make sure to stick till the end of this video because I'm going to share with you the 3 things that you must have if you want to guarantee success by selling on Amazon. Okay, first, wholesaling. With everything we talked about today, wholesaling is a 45 out of 50 risk. So in my personal opinion, I believe that in 2025, it is too late to get started with selling on Amazon if you're doing an old school method like wholesaling. Second, private labeling. This is a 42 out of 50 risk. Look, it's not as bad as wholesaling, but the risk is still pretty high for you to get started. So I do believe that it's also too late to start selling on Amazon if you're doing private labeling. Now, thirdly, With retail arbitrage, this is a 26 out of 50 risk. Now, funny enough, I do not think it's too late to make money with doing retail arbitrage. There's still good opportunity to make money here. The only issue as to why I would never do this is because it's tiring. If you're anything like me, I don't like to work. I don't want to be running to the store day after day searching for deals. I want my money to work for me. But with retail arbitrage, you're going to have to do a lot of work, driving to stores 24/7, looking for new products to sell, and dealing with changing prices every other day. In my opinion, retail arbitrage is tiring. So if you want to go work 9 to 5, then go ahead and get started with retail arbitrage because you can definitely make money there. Then lastly, with starting your passion product. Assuming you follow my guidance and do a Kickstarter, this is a 17 out of 50 risk. I believe in 2025, the best way for you to make the most money with the least amount of effort is through starting your passion product. It has the highest profit margins. You can get started for $0, and not to mention, once you get everything up and running, you can basically print cash in your sleep. In fact, in 2021 and 2022, this is what I was doing with my passion product, Performance Gum. I was still in school, getting my degree and doing some traveling to Bali and other places, but I was still making thousands a month for my passion product. Plus, I was only working a few hours a week. And I'm not the only one. Brent here is making over $1.8 million with his passion product while working full-time as a first responder pilot. Calvin here is making over $300,000 while working full-time as an engineer. He actually just quit his job to spend time doing what he wants. Even Juliana is making over $100,000 as well as a stay-at-home mom. And there are thousands more everyday people making over $100,000 hands-free from starting their passion product. So right now, I believe is the perfect time to get started with selling a passion product on Amazon. In fact, 66% of Amazon sellers say they wish they had started selling on Amazon sooner. In fact, I have one Amazon horror story from our students, Logan and Leanne, who missed out on generational wealth because of their procrastination, because they waited so long to start their business. You see, Logan and Leanne were everyday people who knew they wanted to make money on Amazon, but they procrastinated about joining our Amazon FBA training, the passion product formula, and in fact, it took them 4 months to actually get in. Then, using step-by-step tools inside, they were able to find a unique Amazon product idea, bathrobe curls, a hair curling product. No one else on the market was selling it yet. When I met with them on one-on-one calls in my Amazon FBA course, I saw that their new product was projected to easily bring in $10,000 to $30,000 a month passively. But then they started to procrastinate on their launch. They wanted everything to be perfect before taking the next step. And after 6 months of delay, they finally decided to launch bathrobe curls. But there was just one problem. Someone launched a product identical to theirs just a couple of months prior. Someone had taken over the entire market share and was doing close to $60,000 a month. Someone had taken advantage of Logan and Leanne's procrastination and now had a huge passive income machine to show for it. Still, Logan and Leanne launched their product, but guess how much they had? $21 in 3 months. 21 freaking dollars, while their competitors made $180,000 in the same time frame. And after 2 years of making pennies, Logan and Leanne eventually had to shut down their Amazon store. But they were so close to living the passive income dream life. If only they hadn't procrastinated and took action immediately. They were sitting on a goldmine. Seriously, if they had started sooner, they would have had that $60,000 a month store. Now, I don't want you to miss out on $60,000 a month store like Logan and Leanne did by not taking action. So right now, I want to help you by making sure that you don't make the same mistake. Most people are stuck in analysis paralysis because they don't know the exact formula that they should use to launch a product. Other people are scared because they don't know anyone that's actually had success making money online. But the truth is, I only needed these 3 things to make money from Amazon. I needed a step-by-step formula, I needed a mentor or guide that's going to show you how to do it, and I needed a community of other people. Because if you're going to have questions along the journey, then you need to make sure that you have people that are there for you to answer your questions. And I do have a free 8-hour step-by-step Amazon FBA course. But if you're looking for more help, if you're looking for a community, if you're looking to have access to live weekly Q&A calls with either myself or Travis or one of our other coaches for any time that you get stuck, then you're going to want to join my Amazon FBA program. Now, you don't need to. You can figure out how to do this on your own, but it's going to take you so much longer than it would without some simple guidance and support. And as I mentioned, the longer it takes you, the more money you're missing out on. Also, a lot of people that end up going down this journey by themselves end up making thousands of dollars worth of mistakes. And I want to help you to avoid making mistakes so that you can make as much money as possible. So click on that link to join our Amazon FBA program before it's too late. As I mentioned, there are only 50 spots available. Those spots are going fast, and we're closing registration in just a couple of days. On top of that, there is a double guarantee. If you join the program and it's not right for you, send me an email within 14 days and you'll get your money back. On top of that, if you stay with the program, follow the steps, and launch your own passion product, and you don't make more than $1,000 in your first year selling on Amazon, I will give you, on top of a refund, $1,000 from my own pocket. It's a win-win. So click on that link to join before it's too late. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.